Hello, everyone, and welcome to my tier ranking of Scream characters. Folks, it's been a while since I've watched through these movies, and just a few days from now, Scream 7 will be in theaters. I'm going to see it on day one. The reason why is because I have had a lot of fun with this series, way more than I thought I was going to. Part of the reason I think these movies are so fun to watch and rewatch is because of the characters. I'm going to grade these characters according to how much they helped or hindered the films that they're in. Let's get going right away with Randy Meeks from Scream 1 and half of Scream 2. Oh yeah, spoiler alert for all these Scream movies. Now, Randy is an interesting case because he's one of the only survivors from the first movie. He's the one character that is most aware he's in a horror movie, that everyone is, and that everyone is a suspect. In a way, Randy Meeks is the heart of Scream. It's just a shame that he departed as early as he did. Let's get real, guys. He couldn't stop a middle-aged woman in a costume from stabbing him in a van. Kind of spoiled those good looks he had coming in. A-tier character for me. Had he stuck around longer, he probably would have earned his way into an S tier. Moving on to Gale Weathers. Alright, I'm taking into account, her character in every Scream movie all meshed together into one. Gale Weathers is a B tier character. She has one hell of a corkscrewy arc, so it's not really an arc, it's just like a fucking loop-de-doo that just coils on forever. Because it's like, what direction is this woman going in? And to be honest, I just cannot stand every time Gale Weathers first shows up in any scene, she has to do this fucking zigzag with her fucking head from side to side. Like, here you are, in my presence. She treats her cameraman like fucking shit all the time, literally insulting him to his face, calling him fat. This woman literally is getting rich off of all the victims. Every time somebody gets a knife in their fucking stomach, Gale Weathers is getting paid. But that's what's so interesting about her, is that you can see these twinklings of humanism in her, which is connected to Dewey. When she sees people actually hacked up, it kind of has an effect on her, especially when it's Dewey right in front of her. But then a movie later, she's just back to her old self, as if she never learned any lessons. Now, let me show you guys the reason Randy went into A. It's because Stu Macher's going in S. Stu Macher is the one to beat on this tier list, folks. I think all of us have that friend in high school that reminds us of Stu Macher a little bit. If he were around me in real life, he would be an F-tier person, because he's so obnoxious, and I can't stand being around obnoxious people. But for some reason, the way Matthew Lillard does it is endearing, which is weird to say because he's literally the fucking killer. And you didn't notice because I was hiding in plain sight as just the crazy guy of the group. But it turns out I am the crazy. I was underplaying how crazy I was by acting crazy. He did it before anyone else realized that that was the way to do it. There just will never be another Stu Macher. Okay, so now I have calibrated how this is going to go for us all, okay? All right, Principal Himbry. So Principal Himbry's death was just sort of added in last minute because they felt there was too many pages without a kill. So poor Principal Himbry was selected for extermination, and Billy, probably, pops out from behind a door and sticks a knife in his guts. And Himbry does a good scream, too. I can't tell if it's a scream out of fear or pain, or probably both. But it's good. There's also just the fact that Himbry himself is very weird. He touches Sidney on the chin. He expels two students pranking as Ghostface, and then is wearing the mask he took from them later in his office. Okay, he's going in B. Moving on to Tatum, Sidney's best friend and Dewey's little sister. Tatum is a likable supporting character, And she might have been at the top of some people's suspect list when this movie first came out because she's almost too flawless of a friend. She's always there in Sydney's defense. She's always there to listen to Sydney's woes and be a cushion for her trauma. So we all feel for Tatum when she gets squashed in the garage door because apparently she thought she could fit her big fucking plunkers through this goddamn doggy door. Turns out she was wrong. Moving on to Cotton Weary, one of the best characters in the original trilogy. Just sort of weird that we actually see the guy in the first movie because it tethers him so well to the second movie. I gotta hand it to Liev Schreiber in Scream 2. This guy fucking kills it in this movie. And by kills it, I mean, it doesn't turn out he was the killer, but he's so good at being suspicious because he's so fucking obsessed with going on Diane Sawyer and forcing Sydney to be a part of it. At the climax of Scream 2, I'm kind of curious how Cotton would have reacted if Sydney would have said, "Fuck Diane Sawyer." I'm still going to give him a B, only because Randy sits in A, and I'm choosing to be a hard ass today. Moving on to Billy Loomis. Alright, Billy Loomis is definitely an A-tier character. So this is the other killer in Scream 1. Now, the thing that's so wonderful about Billy is he is a very believable killer. So this guy has some issues, as does Stu Macher, so they're perfect for each other. Billy Loomis is just fucking psychotic. But he does such a great job of towing that line between, like, bad boy and the caring boyfriend that's working on his patients. There he is, right there the whole time, pretty much announcing that he is the killer. And the movie even has his ass get arrested for being at the scene when Sydney is attacked. And it's like we're not even halfway through the movie yet, so it's like this can't be the killer if they're pegging him already. And so they convince you that he's not before then flipping it back on itself that he is, along with Stu Macher, and it is just fucking brilliant. I don't understand why in the fuck Billy and Stu stabbed the shit out of each other when they hadn't even finished their plan yet. Why did they let Sydney live while they just weakened themselves and then let her slip away? So they're both idiots, but regardless of that, they're both legends, especially Stu. All right, moving on. Okay, guys, Dewey the dummy is going in D tier. There's just no way that he's going to live anywhere but here. Dewey is interesting because he's the hero that sucks. This guy cannot clear a room properly to save his motherfucking soul. And he never evolves. He never gets better. He never grows to be smarter. He just continues to be fucking dumb in every single movie he's in. He gets stabbed in the back. What happens by the next movie? He gets stabbed in the back again. What happens by the next movie? He gets a knife thrown at his head and falls down the stairs and then forgets how to fucking kill somebody with a gun. Dewey, you gotta shoot him in the head. What are you talking about? You gotta shoot him in the head. He's wearing a bulletproof vest. I don't understand. And then 10 years after going through an entire trilogy of shit, once again, Dewey improperly checks his corners, and a little girl about 75 pounds beats him in the head with a portable toilet. Way to go, Dewey. So by Scream 5, Dewey's dramatic exit is absolutely ridiculous, like laughably ridiculous. By some magical miracle, he actually shoots the killer up against a wall, and he's about to leave with the other characters when he dramatically turns around and says, "Wait, not yet. I'm doing it because I want to," or something. So Dewey dramatically reloads his gun with the shells clanging on the floor, as if Dewey's this cool fucking cowboy or something. Walks right up to the killer that's sitting unconscious on the floor, aims the gun at their head, and his phone rings. Huh? He looks down at his crotch to see his ringing phone because he's so startled by it. And the killer, from a sitting position, somehow leaps forward and sticks a knife in his stomach. And Dewey is just totally caught off guard because after 5 fucking movies over the course of 25 fucking years, he still hasn't learned how not to be killed by a fucking guy or girl again in a costume. This is a high school girl that shreds you like a fucking Christmas goose. Jesus Christ, Dewey. Jesus Christ. I'll actually put you at the back of A. No, the front of A. Now the back. Now you're going back and... No, D. Oh, right there. We move on to Casey Becker. Iconic as fuck. I mean, holy shit, guys. There's not a whole lot I can say about Casey Becker. She gets this whole train rolling. I mean, in a way, she is the face of the Scream franchise. And the way Drew performs it, it's like of A caliber. Like, don't get mad at me. This is a ranking. All right. Moving on to Sidney Prescott. Automatic S. She is an amazing character. She's one of the best fucking characters of all time. Certainly one of the best female characters of all time. I mean, she's right up there with fucking like Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley to me. Like, I swear to God, Neve Campbell is fucking awesome in this series. The problem with characters like Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley is that as their series went on, the characters got fucked. Sidney's character, however, was always growing smarter. Even if the movies themselves were becoming marginally worse in a way, Sidney was always becoming better. Like, I can't even imagine what goes through Sidney's head. This has happened so many times. She has got to be saying to herself, what the fuck is my reality? I've been attacked by a guy in a Ghostface costume like 5 fucking times. How many times can this same awful shit happen to the same person? But in the Scream universe, Sidney is cursed. There just comes a certain point where she knows this will never stop, and the people around her will always be in danger. That has got to be a shitload on a person's mind. And despite all of that, she doesn't ever come across as cynical, but when she has to go into killer mode, she means it. She always does the thing that you appreciate and does the thing you wish other characters would do. She's just all around fucking fantastic. And Scream would not be as legendary as it is without Sidney Prescott. I might have to have her above Stu. Oh man, that looks almost sacrilegious right there. I don't know about that. No, the more I stare at it, the more right it feels. Moving on to Stephen Orth. Well, it's kind of hard to place this guy because he's killed 5 minutes into the movie and he's got tape on his mouth the entire time. He does get gutted, but it has to be the director's cut of the movie. Casey flips on the light and we immediately get the wide shot of his guts rolling out of his fucking midsection. That is fucking sick. But because of how the theatrical fucked, this shot fucked this up. It really bothers me. I have to demote poor Stephen Orth because of that. Moving on to Kenny the cameraman. Well, Kenny the cameraman, unfortunate victim of Stu Macher's Ghostface. And it's like Kenny, you can tell he's just trying to do his job as best he can. And he is reliable. He's always there. But he just doesn't move fast enough for Gale. And he doesn't move fast enough to get out of the way of a knife either. So Kenny, it's like as the life drains out of his throat and his eyes and you watch him go down, you do sort of feel fucking bad for the guy. I think he's of that same status as like a Principal Himbry, but a step above. Okay, moving on to Billy Loomis's father that is only in one scene making a very memorable face. This guy looks like your friend's father who smokes too much. Scream is just one of those movies you wish you could reset your brain to experience for the first time again, because so much of the fun is in trying to figure this out. It's like a big game of Clue. And this guy, you see a fucking guy that looks like this, it's like, I'm not ruling him out. Now moving on to the sheriff of Woodsboro. I think this is a really great sheriff character. He himself is also a suspect. There's a peculiar shot of him stomping out a cigarette, wearing the same boots that the killer does. as do many of these characters wear the same shoes as the killer. I'm going to have him right between Kenny and Principal Himbry. Moving on to Sydney's pop. Everyone thought he was away on the business trip. Nope, he's actually in the fucking closet. So, they're really trying to set him up as the killer, as the fall guy. It's the perfect plan, if only they weren't so stupid in executing it. So, yeah, it turns out the fathers of Billy and Sid are just like serviceable characters. Moving on to Phil Stevens. This guy dies in a memorable way. When he goes pee-pee in the bathroom at the movie theater, listening to this fucking noise. Like, what is that? I can't really quite hear what they're saying in there. Are they making squeaky sounds? Squeaky like a mouse? Boop! And the killer knew right where to stab. I'm actually going to put Mr. Stevens here at the back of B and downgrade Stephen Orth to the top of C. Let's talk about Mickey, the killer of Scream 2. Okay, so Mickey was already a serial killer before the events of Scream. Mickey was found and financed by Nancy Loomis, Billy's mother. And she is wild-eyed and insane. I don't think anyone would wear clown makeup better than Nancy Loomis. This woman's motivation, she's very bummed out about her son being killed, so she's going to take that out on Sydney, okay? Easy enough to understand. I might have seen her come in as the killer, but there was no way to tell that she was Billy Loomis's mother. Mickey, though, I think I would have been able to tell. I can't remember what I thought as a kid. Nancy Loomis was like, hey, kid, you want to go to college? Slay some kids? Mickey's like, yes. Mickey wants to be remembered, even if it's remembered as an evil piece of shit. He wants a sensationalized trial on the grand stage of the world. I think they're good characters, man. I really do. I think they're going to have to go in a pretty respectable tier. I'm going to have both of them in the B+ category. Moving on to Cece. So she is involved in this debate in the classroom. She's making the argument, you can't blame the movies for these murders. Cece, would you still feel the same way after tonight? So she's not given too much to do in this movie. She gets a phone call, she gets fucked with, she gets chased, she gets killed. And how she gets killed, yeah, it's not pretty. Moving on to Derek. Derek, oh man, I think we're going to have our first D tier, guys. Whenever he floats around and has anything to say or sing, I'm just like, dude, will you just fucking like move along? Because he is kind of annoying. His stupid fucking dance in the lunchroom was pretty goddamn dumb. And when he gets all up in Sydney's shit, being alone is not the answer. Thank you very much, Derek. Please go away. Mickey's like, Derek is the killer along with me. I couldn't have done it without a helper. And Derek's like, he's fucking lying. He's fucking lying. I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you. Before Mickey Tupac shots him and puts him out of commission. You know, like, I don't hate Derek here. He's just so lame compared to Billy. It would have been a shame if Derek was the killer. You know what? And in fact, I think this guy originally was the fucking killer, but because of an online leak, they changed it to Mickey. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on the guy, but it's like Dee was looking kind of lonely, and I think it needed somebody, and it just had to be you, Derek. Maureen. Okay, so Maureen is the other victim, killed in the movie theater at the beginning of Scream 2 along with her boyfriend, Paul Stevens or something. And she gets stabbed again and again and again in front of all these people, and nobody gives a shit because they don't know what's going on. This woman has got to be shitting her pants in fear of what is going on here. And she dies probably one of the most eerily real feeling deaths of the entire series. Like, you literally see the light leaving her eyes as she hits the floor. I'm going to give her one slot above Tatum. Moving on to Sidney Prescott's new best friend, Haley. I just don't find her to be memorable or interesting, really. She might even have to be sort of a D character, to be honest. She does have a little bit of a funny line when she's trying to crawl out of the police car. She looks at the dead cop with a fucking PVC pole through his face, and she says to Sidney, "Ooh, right through his eye." It's like, why don't you just shut up and get out of the fucking car? And after they both get out of the fucking car, Haley wants to get the fuck out of there. But Sidney is like, wait, no. I gotta take off his mask. I'm sick of running away. And Haley's like, God damn it! Because, of course, when Sidney looks back in the car, it's empty. And where's the killer? Let me guess. Oh, that look on Haley's face. She's looking at Sidney like, why? It's obvious Sidney is a little torn up about this blunder. Oh, maybe D is a little harsh. I'll just give her a C. Alright, oh my god. Moving on to Joel, the cameraman. He does the most logical, smartest, most intelligent thing and literally leaves the movie. Some characters should just end on a sensical note. Who the fuck is this bitch? I don't fucking remember her. Actually, you know what? Seeing this bitch over here, I kind of do remember her. I'm just going to put her and her in F because all I remember about them is whenever they showed up, I just wanted them to go away. I have no idea what they were even saying. I don't remember. My brain has deleted those files. So if I can't fucking remember anything other than the fact that I just wanted you to like not be on screen when you were on screen, you got to be an F. Both of you, whatever your names are. Now, moving on to the sheriff of Scream 2. Not as memorable as the sheriff in Scream 1. Now, this is David Arquette's father, so some fun trivia for you there if you didn't know. Unfortunately, this is just a generic character in this movie with generic lines. Oh, moving on to Sidney's drama teacher. As absurd as it is for Sidney to remain on campus with this shit happening again, this guy convinces Sidney to stay and be in his play where she's encircled by guys with hoods and masks and knives and not get freaked out about it, which is of course what happens. And then everybody's looking at Sidney like she's a piece of shit for daring to have a traumatic flashback. Now it's like, yeah, Sidney could have just left the production and that's what she wanted to do. But this guy, Mr. Wisdom over here, convinced her to stay. And he made it believable. I'm flipping Gus like a patty burger right into the A-tier basket. Moving on to Scream 3. Okay, folks. Scream 3 is full of D-tier characters, but I think that's the point. They're the cast of Stab 3, which means they're the cast of Scream 3. Just like screaming, it's crazy to still be here. It's just like, okay, these are people to just get killed. But here's a standout. Detective Kincaid's partner, who hardly even gets a close-up shot in this movie, but he always has these funny lines. Detectives, you're not suggesting that Cotton's murder had anything to do with my production. He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed. I'm going to put this dollar store Ben Stiller at the back of B tier. Now, folks, for those few of you that are out there that are on the same wavelength as me on this decision, I give you a tip of the hat and a salute, and we should go get a cup of joe sometime. The character of Gale Weathers in Stab 3 that is being played by Jennifer Jolie in Scream 3 that is being played by Parker Posey in our reality is an S-tier character. Parker Posey is the best part of Scream 3. Folks, there's nothing much I can tell you other than I'm drawn to her oddballness. Whatever somebody might not like about this character or this actress, I'm in love with. I could watch and listen to Parker Posey do scenes all day long. I haven't had one of these in a year and a half. Somebody's gonna pay for this. My lawyer liked that. Dude, it's just one of those things that I can't really explain. But like if she actually was my girlfriend, I probably would like get sick of her immediately. But even if I knew I would still like wish for her. I'm just trying to say, guys, that I fucking love this woman. Moving on to Jennifer's bodyguard. He's just sort of this like stocky knockoff Bruce Campbell. He calls Dewey a dewdrop all the time, which I think is kind of funny. I think he's a nice little addition to the antics that is Scream 3. Moving on to Roman. Okay, this is the killer of Scream 3, and he's solo. Or is he? He might have had a buddy, and his name might have been Kincaid. So he stabs all of these fucking D-tier characters to death, and then he's standing there dramatically at the end, just espousing to Sidney Prescott all these revelations. I'm actually your half-brother. You were loved, and I wasn't really, so I'm gonna just kill everybody and then make a whole thing about it. Ha ha ha. Okay, so it's like I can't make up my mind on how I feel about any of this stuff, because it's like, why do you have to retroactively fucking confuse the whole situation and motive of what came before? And we're all just supposed to be fucking jizzing our trousers over it. Because Scream 3 is almost a self-parody, I let it get away with almost anything. I think Roman is a bit of a force to be reckoned with. I'd say the dude is like I don't know, man. It's like I do sort of appreciate him on like the level of a B, but I think like ultimately he's just kind of more of a C. I'll put him right here. Moving on to this fucking nobody who's supposed to be playing Randy in Stab 3, but they changed the name of the character to Ricky because this guy wants to be his own man or something. They put this guy's face on the cover of the movie. There's only 5 faces allowed on the fucking front cover, and this guy is one of them. I mean, what? This guy, I'm telling you, is like a nobody in this movie. Should have been stabbed through the head with scissors. Why Roman didn't follow through on that, I have no idea. So this guy is just another fucking nobody along with these clowns. Moving on to Christine, Cotton Weary's girlfriend that he just couldn't get home in time to save, and they die alongside each other. I think this actress actually did a really good job in this opening scene. She probably doesn't get as much credit as she's due. I'd say she's on the high end of serviceable C. Now moving on to John Milton. Okay, if you think about it, this guy is the source of the disease. And ultimately, he has his throat slashed by Ghostface, just for being involved in all this shit. It's just kind of like almost hilarious how he tries to talk his way out of this shit. Don't kill me. I'll produce your next movie. I'll give you all the money you want. I'll give you top billing. Final cut. Right before Ghostface is like, final cut sounds good, or something like that, and slits his throat. Anyway, I think he's just like mid-C character. I mean, it's Lance Henriksen, so. All right, moving on to Detective Kincaid. He's the one that I thought was the killer when I first watched this movie. Definitely one of the few good characters in Scream 3. We learn through dialogue that he is still Sidney's husband, so what if he was the second Ghostface and he's just been living with Sidney all this time? I'm going to give him just below Cotton Weary. Moving on to Carrie Fisher, who I'm not really sure why she's in this movie. Scream 3 has a lot of strange cameos, and there she is pretty much playing herself, but trying to tell us she's not actually herself. And then moving on to, oh man, what's this girl's name? She like appears in a lot of movies. It's like Heather Mozzarella or something. I like her every time I see her and stuff, but I just can't even fucking really remember who she is in Scream 3. She like pops out of a trailer at one point just to like give somebody a fucking Diet Coke or something. I have no idea. I honestly can't remember at all. So I'll give her back a C. Now moving into the characters of Scream 4. Getting started with this cop who's cracking jokes with Anthony Anderson. Where is he? There he is. So there they are on Night Watch, talking about how they're likely to get killed if this were a horror movie. Well, unfortunately for them, it is a horror movie. And unfortunately for us, we get Anthony Anderson's Bruce Willis joke that tanks this entire movie. This guy here takes a knife right in his back, like Dewey has 17,000 times. Only this guy is not likable enough to make it. And let's just rank Anthony Anderson right now. Low D. Next character, Kirby. She's knowledgeable like Randy, and she's kind of cool like Sidney. But unfortunately for her, one of the Culkin brothers sticks a kitchen knife into her gut. But she gets the Dewey treatment and she's back by Scream 6. And I like how she comes back looking like fucking Jill Valentine. Gonna start beating up Ghostface like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I think she is good enough for the back of A. All right, moving on to Jill's mother. I mean, she was just there to die and just underline the fact that Jill is one of the most fucking sick, twisted, demented, heartless, cruel, evil killers of all the killers in this franchise. Like, Jesus, how can you stab your own mother? We'll get to Jill in a minute. But anyway, as for Jill's mother, she's just another supporting character that does fine. I just got to give her C tier for being just fine. All right, moving on to another victim, Sidney Prescott's publisher, who's got a bit of a stick in her ass and is just more about the money than she is about anything or anybody else. Ghostface corners her in a parking garage, sticks a knife in her, and throws her from a high place. But this time she lands on top of a fucking news van right in front of a goddamn police press briefing. So, this character, another C for me. Moving on to, forget her name, starts with an M. Is it like Marlin or Marley or Marbles? I don't remember. But several of these girls here are in the fake out opening sequences of Scream 4. I'm going to have to put all of them in D. You know, it's like the horror of these lives being taken seems to be very diminished from where it was in the first Scream movie. It's just pulling a party trick, a misdirect. Oh, look, it's a movie within a movie within a movie, which is cool and it works on theme for the Scream movies, but it's just sort of loses its potency at this point. I think more of them are right over here. I'll just throw them all in D. Boom, boom, boom. I'll put this one here, though, because I remember the blood running out of her neck pretty good. Okay, moving on to Jill and Rory. Let's just kind of talk about them both, because here's your two killers from Scream 4. Jesus, these two are fucking messed up and twisted. These two might be my second favorite killers in the Scream franchise. I haven't figured it out totally yet, but I guess I better get it figured out right now, because that's the point of this. So, these ghost faces are among the meanest, the nastiest, the cruelest, the most sadistic. They are horrible, and they're amazing for the Scream franchise. I think Jill and Charlie are really fucking good characters, and I'm going to put them at the back of A. I did not see Jill coming as the killer at all. Charlie, fucking yeah, but Jill I did not. And my God, does Charlie say some fucked up shit over the phone. I'm gonna cut off your eyelids so you can't blink when I stab you in the face. He's been trying to score with Kirby for years, and she's finally come around on liking him, although I don't see how in the fuck anyone would. And he stabs her in the stomach because she took too long. Now, Jill ends up betraying Charlie because Charlie is, at the end of the day, a moron and gullible. So she takes him out because Jill wants to be the star of the show, the sole survivor, as she puts it. So she stages the scene to make herself look like the victim. All Jill had to do was finish Sidney for good, and she would have won. Originally, Jill was supposed to get away with this shit. If that had to mean Sidney dying, I don't think I would have wanted to go that route. If it meant Sidney would have been in a coma, maybe. But I really like the idea of Scream 5 shifting the formula where Jill would be the main character and we'd be following the killer unmasked throughout the story. That would have been an interesting twist on the franchise. If they would have committed to this route with Jill's character, she would have probably been an S tier. Alright, continuing on with the characters in Scream 4. Oh, fuck. Here is a really unfortunate victim. Poor Olivia gets one of the worst deaths in the entire series, and in the aftermath we see Olivia laying on the bed with her guts just laid out all over the fucking mattress, blood all over the room. It's just one of those deaths that's hard to watch because there's no cartooniness. Olivia, it's not like she was a great character, she just sort of stood around, and I can't even remember any of her lines, but god damn it, that was a hell of a memorable death. I think I'm going to give her in the middle of C. Moving on to Trevor. So this ass face is the boyfriend of the killer, Jill, or the ex-boyfriend, and Jill makes sure of that because in the climax of this movie, she puts a bullet into his dick. That's right, shoots him right square in his penis before pulling the trigger and putting one right through his fucking computer. And then that's the end of Trevor. Thank God he's put out of his fucking misery. I think Trevor is another good character, right behind Olivia. Moving on to Wendy Peppercorn, Hicks. Okay, I guess she got married to Corporal Hicks. She is a deputy of Sheriff Dewey. I don't know how the hell he ever got that promotion. She probably would be better off as the sheriff over Dewey because she seems to be a bit more proactive. And she's just being that character with a questionable moral compass. Another potential killer because she's acting weird and looking weird. But turns out she's not the killer and she survives Scream 4. And so we see her again in Scream 5 and she even has a son. And his name's Wes and he looks like he has a very promising future until he has no future. I'd be lying if I didn't admit that I was just slightly bummed to see her die. It's gonna be a B tier. Next up, Robbie Mercer, the annoying fucker with the camera on the side of his head. I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, not since it came out in 2011, and I still kind of remembered Robbie Mercer. I don't like the guy, I don't think anybody really does, but he is a character. I'm just going to put him here right behind Trevor. Moving on to Richie and Amber, the killers of Scream 5. One of them I like as Ghostface and not so much a character, and the other I don't like as Ghostface or a character. I think Amber plays an incredible fucking Ghostface. This character is so fucking unhinged that I think when she wakes up in the morning, her eyes literally roll around like Pennywise before they finally settle into place. But the thing with Amber that annoys me is that every time somebody says something fucked up in her presence, she's always like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that!" And this sort of behavior of being offended at things that other people are saying is a dead giveaway. We can all see the twistedness in your eyes, even from across this fucking field. I'm gonna put Amber in A, and what elevates her this high is because of how she starts acting when she's desperate and cornered. She frantically starts yelling, "It's not my fault, I was radicalized!" And if that doesn't work, she'll then start apologizing for Dewey. It's just we haven't really seen this kind of behavior from a Ghostface before. It just added another layer onto this character that moved her a whole tier up. Now let's talk about Richie a little bit more. Richie is the one who pretends like he doesn't know anything. This guy is fucking in Woodsboro and claims he doesn't even know what the hell the Woodsboro murders are. He hardly even knows what the Stab movies are. You got Amber acting beyond empathetic, and you got Richie acting beyond clueless. I do like this actor and stuff, but in this movie there's no interesting layer to him. He's just a one-trick pony that plays that sorta awkward guy and spouts out Gen Z lines and going, and just being like fucking awkward all the time after every sentence. And I really hate his fucking line of, "Holy shit, it's Ghostface!" Moving on to Chad. I know a lot of people like this character, and if you got something out of him, I'm happy for you, more power to you, but I didn't like this character. I'm going to give him probably toward the top of D, because at least he had a little bit more personality than all these people. I don't like how he's supposed to be likable, but he doesn't give a fuck about his girlfriend Liv that got shot through the fucking dome, and he never speaks of her again. And then for no reason, he just falls in love with Sam. And then after getting stabbed 42 times in Scream 5 and 112 times in Scream 6, he somehow is still fucking alive. There's no way Chad, no matter how many fucking bench presses he does every day, was going to survive that shit. Moving on to Tara. I love the misdirection with Tara at the beginning of the movie. Anyone that answers the phone at the beginning of a Scream movie dies. Not Tara. Tara actually survives the encounter, and she's all mangled up, but she lives to tell the tale, and I found that to be really interesting and cool. I mean, this girl had her kneecap stomped into the floor and a knife put through her hand. She'll be suffering with post-traumatic stress the rest of her life, but her actual character is just sort of forgettable the more the movie goes on and the more cartoony this shit starts to get, especially by 6. It's like, you should be on another fucking planet at this point. You should have taken a plane to Indochina to get the hell away from this. Why are you fucking people still bumbling around? So, Tara, I'm gonna give her a B. Alright. Oh, Jesus, tap dancing. God. Moving on to Mindy. This is the worst character in the entire Screamverse. This character made me want to scream. You can't just come into the fucking show and be like, oh, my name is Mindy and I know everything and Randy's my uncle and I want you to like me as much if not more than Randy because I talk about movies and know everything about horror movies and I love expositioning, I love word vomiting and I'm hoping you're hanging on every word and everything I say and thinking I'm cool while I do it. Moving on to Wes. Wendy and Squid had a kid and outshot Wes. So Wes just stands around looking innocent with his innocent face. And that alone was making him suspicious all the way up to the point he got a knife through his throat. He existed to be a special effect. Hey, have you ever seen a knife go through someone's neck this slowly before? Yeah, looked like a good kid. He's a good kid. Yeah, that's a kid. It's a kid. Wes, let's put him right here with his mommy. No, you know what? I think that's a little bit too nice. I'm going to put Wes at the top of C, and I'm going to upgrade Roman to the back of B. That looks better. Moving on to some fucking asshole that leans against his truck and talks like shit to people. Barely remember this fucking character. I'm just going to put him at the back of D. He's just a nobody. Moving on to Sam. Okay, so this is like the new final girl of the Scream franchise. She has serial killer blood in her veins because her daddy is Billy Loomis, and Billy Loomis talks to her in the bathroom and tells her to do fucked up shit because that's just like I would do, your daddy. Sam has this mean streak, this hard edge to her, this ability to take lives because it's that big question of, are killers born or are they formed? So we're all wondering about you, Sam. I think this is a character that is working her way to the good category, but I'd say for now she just sort of sits in decent. Maybe, I think I'll have her right here. And I think the writing hurts both of these characters too a little bit because they're having to do a lot of fucking chatterboxing to each other, a whole lot of exposition about this is what's actually going on in my family, and this is my daddy, and blah, 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 and just a whole lot of words that they could have summed up a lot of shit. Moving on to Liv, she got shot through the head by Amber, the bitch, and she was beautiful. Let's grab this sheriff and bring him down, because honestly, I don't fucking even remember this dude. Moving on to Quinn, the first killer of Scream 6. So Scream 6 has 3 killers. And here's our first, Quinn, who just sort of hangs around in her jammies until she gets her throat slashed in her bedroom and then reappears at the end of the movie to show us that she's actually one of the ghost faces. Oh my god, never saw it coming. It's true, I didn't see that coming. Her character is just sort of okay. I think she makes some pretty good facial expressions when she's attacking and when she's being pissed off, but her motivation, along with the motivations of her other killer compadres, pretty lame. Alright, I don't like how this made a new row here again, so let's go ahead and demote Chad to F. I'll put him right next to Mindy. That looks way better. And yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Alright, moving on to this woman who at first I thought was Margot Robbie. She is the victim of the opening scene of Scream 6. It's actually a really solid opening. We're in a different setting. We are in New York fucking City, and this woman is just trying to have a nice date. And the death is horrifying. It just fucked up. Like, god damn it. Like, you're just going on a date one night, and then you go outside, and some fucking idiot teenager stabs you with a knife because it's trendy. And this fucking Ghostface takes off... He's over here, this guy. He takes off his goddamn mask right after he kills her in the opening scene. Which, that threw me for a fucking loop. To just take someone's life like this out on the street and then just fucking go home and make yourself some fucking coffee. Like, what a piece of shit. And he's just talking about it like, oh yeah, I had blue balls. I just had to get it out of my system. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I am going to promote Gale Weathers to A- tier to make room for Dollar Store Margot Robbie to enter the back of B tier. And I'm also going to bump up Tatum to make room for this fucking asshole to join her at the back of B as well. This woman plays a really good victim, and this guy plays a really good psychopath. Even if they are in the movie briefly, they left quite an impression. Moving on to the pathetic psychiatrist that does not know how to talk to anybody or comfort anybody. Sam is trying to talk to this fucking doucher, expresses to him that her father was a killer and that she herself killed a killer to, save her own fucking life. And this guy just can't handle the gravity of that. Well, my God, you need a different doctor. I'm just too much of a piece of shit to handle this. So it's like this guy is only in this movie to be unlikable just so he can get stabbed in the face in the next scene. Just going to put him at the bottom of D. At this point, I'm just going to have to make a new row in D. Now moving on to Annika, which has one of the most memorable and terrifying deaths of the series when Ghost Dick flips the ladder and Annika falls to her death while her friends scream, "No!" This is just like one of those kills that is drawn out so slowly, so painfully slowly, and it's so agonizing to watch because this girl's going to bite it. And it's just like one horrible thing after another happens to her. Feel bad for her. She made me feel bad for her. So that is acting quality. I'm going to give Annika here, she's even more sympathetic than little Wes over here. So I'm going to put her at the top of C. And I think we'll have to downgrade Heather. Sorry, because I don't remember you really at all. I'll put you with the sheriff then, because I don't remember him either. All right, moving on to Mr. Sexy Boy that lives in the other apartment. And he might be the killer because he looks kind of dangerous, but he's soft and friendly. And he's got an accent like, okay, that was terrible. One of the potential killers, but he's like the only other potential killer. And you know what? I never really thought he was the killer anyway when I first saw Scream 6. So, friendly dude. He's not quite as annoying as Derek, so I guess he should be at the top of D tier, but they just really don't do much with this character. He's just kind of boring. Moving on to Detective Bailey. Okay, so the oldest Ghostface that we've ever had, because he is the dada of Ethan and Quinn. This guy is the weakest of these three Ghostfaces, and he's actually the weakest of all the Ghostfaces of all the movies. This is the worst Ghostface. I have to give Detective Bailey a fucking F tier. I just did not like this guy's delivery of any of his lines. There's moments with this character where he literally goes grrr. Is that how the line read in the script? G-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R. Why are you growling at the camera? When you fuck with my family, you die. It's like not even the characters would believe this is genuine. Alright, this douche-ass cop, I'm just throwing him in D tier. He ends up getting fucking stabbed. Who cares? Who the fuck is this guy? I don't remember who the hell this is. Should I? I've seen the movie twice now, and if I can't remember who the character is after seeing it 2 times, then it must be a pretty lousy character. I'm just going to throw him at the back of D. Was he the guy that was disassembled in the refrigerator? And then finally, we have Ethan, the third killer of Scream 6. When I'm watching Ethan in this reveal scene, he really seems to be relishing his time in the part, and he really does look like a maniac. Yeah, the motivation is stupid with Richie being his brother, and this is just a family affair, but Ethan here makes me believe it the most. I was at Econ! I was like, dude, you are the second killer. As soon as Mindy started accusing him, I knew Ethan was going to be the killer because Mindy is going to be right about everything because she's just written to be automatically smart. So everything Mindy says is law and is true. Ethan, if Mindy says you're the killer, you're the killer. Turns out you're the killer, one of the killers, and I think you did really good in your part, buddy. So I'm going to put Ethan at the back of B. All right, everybody, we are not done. I'm going to use the magic of editing to fast forward time to right after I've seen Scream 7. This is going to be 7 days for me and 1 second for you. I just saw the movie. I just walked out about 5 minutes ago. And I thought I was going to fucking hate this movie, dude. But it was awesome. I was so pleasantly surprised. Scream 7 exceeded my expectations. I avoided all trailers. I avoided all reviews. I didn't want to know jack shit going in to see this movie. And I'm so glad I did avoid stuff, because this movie would have been brought down significantly if I'd have known anything about it. I thought the legacy characters were going to get ruined. Sidney Prescott has been chugging like a choo-choo in S tier all throughout this series. We get to 7, and I thought something was going to happen to ruin her. Didn't happen. In fact, she was even better. She moves up the fucking ranking, but she's already at the top, so I guess she's just sort of dug her heels in. Gale Weathers, I love how she shows up in this movie. I love how she's utilized and not too overcooked. Sidney Prescott's daughter was a great character. She's going in A. I love the whole theme with like the finding your strength thing and the mother-daughter bond between Sidney and her daughter Tatum. Sidney's husband, Mark, was in this movie, but he wasn't played by Patrick Dempsey. And honestly, I can't even remember if Patrick Dempsey's alive or not right now. Played by a different actor, Joel McHale, and I like that guy. The new batch of high school students, they're all good. And I guess we got to talk about the killers. This is going to be the spoiler part, folks, so exit now if you haven't seen Scream 7 yet. This might be the only part of the movie where I was like, huh? The killers take off their masks, and I'm like, what? This person? And then the other one, I'm like, that person? What the fuck? Yeah, they were in the movie, but they weren't really in the mix of friends so much. They like were seen in passing like once, each of them. Here's who it was. The fucking orderly at the mental hospital where Matthew Lillard supposedly was. And then the other killer was Sidney's fucking neighbor or something that we saw once or twice. When she first took off her mask, I thought it was Kirby. She took it off, I was like, who is that? Both of them, I was like, who are they? It took a second, I was like, okay. Like, I didn't see that coming, but like, what the fuck ever, you know? I thought the script was great, I thought the characters were all fucking great, I thought the movie was fucking great. Scream 7 is fucking great, and I'm gonna do a ranking of the movies, and Scream 7 is going high. Really high, and I can't even believe I'm saying that. I'm thinking, is this a dream right now? When I first got in this fucking theater, I couldn't even get the chair to work. It's got like 18 buttons on this goddamn thing, and I'm pushing, my chair's going, and I almost fell, like slid out of the fucking seat because I couldn't get it to go back at all. It only kept tipping forward and folding myself like a fucking accordion while the movie's starting. And the people coming in were like chatterboxing, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a shit time. Everybody quieted down. I figured the fucking chair out, sat back, and I watched this movie, and I enjoyed it thoroughly through, all the way through. Every fucking part of it was good. I can pick out this thing and be like, that was dumb, or that thing and be like, oh, that didn't really make sense. But by and large, dude, the whole package, Scream 7 was a really great fucking movie. God damn it. I'm so happy I can say I liked it. And let's talk about now Matthew Lillard. This is probably why people were making these faces in their thumbnails about this movie. Probably had everything to do with Matthew Lillard and who he turned out to be. I didn't fucking mind it at all. In fact, I thought it was great. I thought it was kind of brilliant. All the legacy characters remain in their respective tiers, or they even move up a little bit. All the new characters all get respectable tier, or I'm sprinkling them all in A and B. Chad and Mindy, I'm moving their asses up to fucking back of B. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. So everyone, I thank you for being here. This was a fun project. I hope you had a good time, and wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope you're having a wonderful day or night.